We are live to our
Sure.
WrestleMania preview show. This is my good man, my main man, my right hand man, Chris Jones. What's going on, my brother?
And nothing much, man. Just getting ready for Mania. See how it works out.
Yeah, we getting ready for Mania, but I ain't hyped. You know what I'm hyped about? Lindor hitting the walk-off shot tonight.
Yeah, a lot of Mets fans need to relax. It's early. It's
Yeah,
early, man.
they
Can't
need to relax on my man Soto. They need to relax. You know what I'm saying? It's a long season. They talk about they booing him like, well, you don't boo Soto. Are you crazy? You
Man, it's a
crazy?
marathon, man. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
It's a race.
If you gonna boo anybody, boo Brett, boo Beatty. Nah, he's actually playing a little better. You know what I'm saying? And Vientos, he's getting hot too. So, yeah. I mean, look, Mets are playing well, but we got bigger fish to fry right now. I don't know how you feel, Chris. I am not excited for Mania. I think this is one of the first years in a very long time that I'm not excited. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the lackluster builds for the matches or is it just the matches themselves? Because I have a new name for this WrestleMania. It's Triple Mania because everything seems like a damn triple threat match.
Yeah, even NXT, I've seen a couple fatal four ways down there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. The main event is they got all black brothers in there. I like that, so I'm good with that. And I don't care how many they got. It could be a 6-way. Have all 6 of those guys brothers. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
they're
But
cooking up
yeah,
down
man.
there.
I just I don't know how you feel. If you want to go ahead and chime in a little bit, man. But I am not excited. Now, there's been some manias for me in history where my excitement level is not too high, but then the overall WrestleMania itself is like, oh man, that was shocking. That was actually better than I thought it would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it could be like this, but man, I don't like it. I don't like the build. I don't like the whole triple threat match between Rollins, Punk, and Reigns. I don't like that build. Like this is like, what is this, a love triangle with Paul Heyman? What is going on here? What is the reason for the match? They could have put number one contendership on the line. Nothing. It's just they just put this match out of nowhere. I don't like it. So I want to hear from you, and then we can be able to move on to something else.
Yeah, kind of like what you said. I think a lot of the issues have to do with the build. It's kind of like it's a little messy here and there. It's not really as cohesive as it was last year when kind of all the pieces fell together. And again, I don't think they could have topped last year. Like 40 was like over a year in the making. The build was just very intricate, and it just all came together so well at the end. This year is a little all over the place. A lot of multi-man matches. Like you said, I'm not really a fan of that either. But hopefully the matches, outperform the build, and it's something that we can kind of look back on and kind of say, all right, we didn't see that coming together, or we weren't expecting this outcome, this, that, or the third. So we just gotta trust Triple H, man. Hopefully he pulls it together.
Yeah, listen, I mean, that's all we can do, right? Outside of the debacle of a PR day that they had. What is happening? What is happening? You got Ula Fowles getting put on. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm telling you, man, I might have to cancel Roman Reigns. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, that's my man. I might have to cancel Roman Reigns. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's bad.
Yeah, I get it. Like sometimes we just want the wrestling. We don't want all
Yeah, like I don't like.
the
I never thought that politics would ever get into my wrestling. I don't like
yeah,
it. I don't
yeah,
like it. It's bad enough we got we got LeBron and there's a lot of people out there that want to do that. That's cool. I don't need it in my wrestling. Now I don't want to hear about Trump. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. I don't care. I don't care when it comes to this. I don't care. I don't care.
no. We just
You know what
want
I
to
mean?
keep it in the square circle. That's it.
Yeah. And then John Cena, like, bruh. I mean, I understand that that's your man, but dude, there's some things that you just can't say. Like, just don't come out right with him and be like, yeah, I love him. You know.
But it's his last ride, so he's probably like, man, I don't even
I
care.
don't care exactly.
He don't care no
He's
more.
only gonna come sparingly every so often. So what does he care? What does he care? And he'll probably go check Vince McMahon's new wrestling program anyway.
Yeah, they did say, that was a rumor. He was
Mm-hmm.
low key. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So we are on the eve of WrestleMania. We got SmackDown going on right now. What are your takeaways from SmackDown so far? Has there been anything to get you excited? Has there been anything to advance any storylines? What have you seen so far on the show that makes you say, well, all right?
I mean, I thought the intro was really good. I mean, Seth came out and cut a solo promo, pretty much, stating the obvious. He's the only one that didn't really leave. Between CM Punk and Roman, he's still working the full time schedule. He's putting in the work, and his promo was kind of geared towards him. Like, if I had to guess, it kind of sounded like he was teaming up with Cena Rock, kind of like leaving that door open. So how they're gonna save wrestling and all this other stuff. So that promo was very interesting, and he sat down Punk, CM Punk style, crisscross applesauce in the middle of the ring. So I thought that was a very good promo. Other than that, they were kind of teasing a couple of things like Aleister Black. I think next week, but it's after Mania. Kind of the disappointing for me was they had the tag team match between DIY and Street Profits, and which I thought was confusing. Like, you got the belts, why aren't they at WrestleMania? In the first place. Sorry, not DIY. Machine Guns,
Yeah,
the
Motor
tag
City
team.
Machine Guns.
Yeah, they had the tag match, and then DIY came out, messed it up. And then they're like, Nick Aldis comes out. He's like, you're gonna have to defend these belts, and we're gonna put it in a TLC match. And then he pauses. He's like, next week on SmackDown. And I'm like, man, they can't catch a break. I don't think the fans like that either. But there was that. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Carmelo Hayes came out looking pretty good there. I don't know. With that Battle Royal, sometimes they push the winners. Sometimes they really don't. I mean, we
Right.
can only hope that that kind of propels him to another level. I think the skills are there for Carmelo. He just needs the opportunity, and they got him with the Miz Battle, a seasoned vet. So we'll see what happens. And up until then, we had Randy Orton too. We got an open challenge, so we'll see who answers the challenge. You
Who do
know,
you think is going to answer the challenge? Is there any dirt sheet rumors
uh,
out there?
I thought it was gonna be Aleister Black at first, but like I said, they kind of teasing him for next week's SmackDown. So maybe Rusev. They're saying that he signed recently, so maybe he'll make an appearance.
What about what
Uh,
about what about oh my goodness, Jeff Cobb.
then, oh yeah, that's a chance.
Could be
That's a
Jeff
chance
Cobb.
there too. I did see that on the dirt sheets. I
Hmm.
would like Nick Aldis to get in the ring, but I don't.
I
I
would
don't
love
know.
to see Nick Aldis get back in the ring, to be honest with you, man, because he's
Yeah.
still fairly young. I don't even think he's 40 yet. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So he may have a couple of matches left in him, but we'll see. That might be something that they may hold off maybe for SummerSlam with Randy. I don't know, but unless they have bigger plans for Randy, because I know Randy looks like he's gonna get the backlash opportunity at the heavyweight championship, right? So that's what it
Yeah,
looks like to
they're
me.
teasing that.
The fact that
And
it's in
praise
St.
up to
Louis.
KO too, man.
Yeah,
KO that would, the style of wrestling that he does, like it's kind of, it's crazy that this is like really the first time in a long time he's really injured, with the neck injuries. I mean, look at the bumps he's taken against Cody Rhodes. I mean, he got the Alabama slam through the ladder and all this other stuff. I
well,
mean,
I think that's kind of if you think about the last year of matches that he's wrestled, he's wrestled a more aggressive style than usual, and
yeah,
I don't know if this is something that happened in the last year or is just something that's been kind of there, and obviously when those symptoms start to happen,
hmm,
you have to address it, right? So as a
yeah,
wrestler, you have so many bumps, you can't really pinpoint exactly when certain things happen, or sometimes you can, right? So
hmm,
definitely speedy recovery to Kevin Owens. He'll be back, and
yeah.
then hopefully they'll have something good for him on his return.
Just no more
um
Sammy matches. We don't need that.
yeah,
Me
I
and
mean, I
Sammy
think,
went against each other too many times. It's
yeah,
done
bro.
now.
I think the whole samey thing could be finished. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that they need to continue to beat a dead horse with that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Although, listen, when they're in the ring together, it's magic. Like, they do
Yeah.
very, very well. They have great chemistry, but I just don't really care to see it. Now, all right, let's go ahead and if anything happens in regards to SmackDown, we can be able to update that and go in there. But let's go ahead and break down this card, right?
Okay.
So, um, I think you said that Pat McAfee revealed that they have the first matches of both nights revealed.
Yeah, so tomorrow night is the first match is going to be the women's triple threat match between Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky.
Okay.
And then Sunday night, the intro is going to be Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. So
Now that's interesting to me. That's interesting that they would actually put Gunther and Jey Uso on night two instead of night one, right?
well,
Like,
it's
what
I
are your
think that's
thoughts about that?
similar to last year. I want to say,
Yes.
or yeah, I think that was night two. Or I could be wrong, but
No,
yeah,
no,
when they
you're
had the
right.
World
No,
Heavyweight
you're right.
title,
You're
they
right.
had
Night
Seth
two, night two
and
started
Drew.
off with Seth and Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was banged up. So, I mean, I even seen like WWE legends like Kurt Angle come out and say, "Hey, what's going on here? Why are they not main eventing?" I don't know. They treat it like a secondary belt, if that makes sense. And I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like it should be, it should be held in a higher regard than it is. I think.
I think
Um,
I think it is held in a higher regard. The problem is this. I think that the Royal Rumble, they need to change the wording, right?
okay.
So instead of saying winner gets the main event at WrestleMania, winner gets a title shot at WrestleMania. That just kind
Mhm.
of that will solve the problem, right? We don't
Right.
necessarily need to have the winner of the Royal Rumble main event at WrestleMania because sometimes that person that they choose to, put the rocket behind for that particular run, it's not
Hmm.
really main event potential, but you still want to
Yeah.
put them in a situation where they're vying for a title and they're in a very, very important spot on the card. Like having the
Mhm.
first match of night two is the trendsetter for the night. Like
Yeah.
that's why you put that match on first, because I do believe that Jay and Gunther are going to put on a great match. I think that you might see the best Jay Uso match you've ever seen. I
They're
think you
gonna
might,
have to.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
they're kind of setting it up for that because they kind of played into his confidence thing and him botching, moves and botching this. And, at first it wasn't a work, it was a
Mhm.
shoot, but now they put it into the actual storyline. So they're building this confidence of him rising. Now his brother got beat up, and now
Yeah. That
Gunther is
helps.
is the one that's a little bit out of control emotionally, right? So,
Hmm.
you know, I think the build has gotten a lot better,
Yeah. In the
and
second half.
obviously we can definitely think and know it for sure that's what it looks like that Jey Uso is going to win the heavyweight championship. So, we're
That I'm not sure yet.
okay. So you're
I'm
not
still
you're
on the
not
fence.
certain that they're gonna pull the trigger.
I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on that yet, man. I think it's gonna be a great match. I'm still 50-50 on who wins that one. But I do think Jay has a chip on his shoulder from last year. That match for him and Jimmy. I love the Usos, but that just wasn't
Garbage.
it. It was just super kick after super kick. It was
You can
just
be honest. You can be honest. Garbage.
it, it just was. It didn't live up. The build was good. I thought the build was pretty
Yeah.
solid, but the match just didn't deliver. But I
Yeah.
think Jay, like I said, he got a chip on his shoulder. He's gonna try to bounce back. He's got to put in a better performance. Gunther's a class act in the ring, so I think it's gonna be a really good match.
Absolutely. So, thoughts on the triple threat match for the women's championship between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair?
I think the build's a little clunky, also, which I think is a common theme throughout the night. But that the build's a little clunky. Like Bianca just showed up on a random Monday Night Raw between them. Between Io and Rhea, and she's sitting ringside and kind of causing a distraction. And it's kind of just going off the rails from there. They're kind of like ignoring EO, and I mean they're all very talented. I think it's going to be a good match. We'll see what kind of story they try to tell in the ring. Triple threats are a little bit more complicated, where you kind of got to keep it entertaining. are they going to do it where they kind of, take out the champion and then they try to do one on ones, or they try to mix up the action? I guess we'll kind of see. But I'm kind of looking forward to that match just to kind of see how it plays out.
You know what's crazy is that I believe that they did this in reverse. I believe that they should have kept the title on Rhea. I
Hmm.
believe that they should have had Rhea and Bianca Belair go against each other for WrestleMania because we've never seen that matchup one
That's
on one, right? That's what
that's what I
everybody
wanted to
wanted
see.
to see. You know, you
That's
had
what I wanted
some
to see.
fans like, we want Io Sky in the championship match. I'm like, no, she doesn't belong there right now, right? Like, it's a Rhea and Bianca Belair situation. And what they could have done to involve Io Sky into the mix
Hmm.
is that whoever wins at Mania, Io Sky finds some way to get a number one contendership match
Yeah.
for the Raw after Mania.
Hmm.
You drop the title to Io as a shocker after Raw, after Mania, to then set up a triple threat match at Backlash.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit.
You understand what I'm
It's
saying?
a little bit more rushed.
That way you get the great match from that we want to see in regards to Bianca and Rhea, but you
Hmm.
also get the swerve of, oh my God, how the hell did this happen? Because you can honestly have one of the girls cost one of the girls to lose that championship, right? So if
Yeah.
Bianca lost, she would cost Rhea the championship the night after, and vice versa, right? So
Hmm.
now you're creating that animosity towards each other while Io is kind of like the odd man out, yet she's the champion. And now you
Yeah.
have the culmination of Backlash. That to me would have made a lot more sense than having this clunky ass situation that Rio beats Rhea, and Io beats Rhea, and then she finds a way to backdoor her way into a championship match. Like, how does that make sense in regards to a Mania build when somebody literally won the Royal Rumble? Like, Bianca is a main eventer, right? So there's
Hmm.
no reason to kind of like muddy the waters here. And they only did that because they realized that maybe Io can't carry the match with Bianca or whatever it is. You know,
Yeah.
I have no idea why they would do this, but it just felt so forced with a lot of things on this WrestleMania card felt very, very forced,
Forced.
right?
Yeah. Not as
So
smooth.
yeah, it's just not been a smooth transaction. And I think the reason because of that is the extended period, right? We had what 10 weeks of a build. That's too long. It's too
Yeah.
long. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they need to, if you knew that the actual venue was gonna be Vegas, then what's the sense of pushing Mania back to Easter weekend?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're already in a warm climate. You don't necessarily need to push it back anymore. Like Easter Sunday, like why are we having WrestleMania on Easter weekend? It's just
I thought that
fucking
was
stupid.
odd.
Yeah, it's
I
just
thought that was
really,
odd.
really dumb. Really, really
But for the
dumb.
match, I think they try to like kind of copy like WrestleMania 20 with Triple H and Shawn Michaels
Yeah,
and
I'm
Brooks
sure.
redacted.
I'm sure,
Uh,
but it didn't
it didn't work.
it didn't hit like that. It didn't hit like
Yeah,
that at
because
all.
HBK and Triple H already had the feud, and
Yeah,
they added in, the other guy kind of made it easier and kind of flow a little bit
right.
better.
I mean, think about
But
it,
yeah.
right? Like Rhea has been beefing with Liv Morgan the entire year.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden she changes her direction from Liv to now it's just the transition just did not go as smoothly as maybe they thought it would.
Hmm.
And the build just has been very, very poor. So okay, let's
Yeah.
go ahead and go over the card for night one. So we have the heavyweight championship, the triple threat match to start off the show. What else did they got
Hmm.
on night one?
Another match for me. War Raiders versus the New Day.
Oh my God, garbage, garbage, garbage.
I mean, that feels a little forced. Also,
Yeah.
uh, we got Rey
Listen,
Mysterio. Oh,
put
go
the
ahead.
put the, put the title on a new day and let's move forward. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are disappointed because they thought, WWE over the past year was building up the tag team division to be a lot more than what it has been. It may be like a multi-man match or a ladder match or something where
All
all
right.
these tag teams they brought in all these tag teams back. I mean, there's a lot of tag teams there, and they're not being utilized. So this is not really, I don't know, mid at best. Not really looking forward to that one. Unless Big E makes an appearance or something like that. But other than that,
Yeah, we got a comment right now. It
don't
says
really care for that one.
Randy versus Miro. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna get, man. We're gonna get that
Yeah.
Rusev Machgat. That's all I'm gonna hear. I can't wait to hear that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm hyped. That's my guy, man. And he got his wife back. His confidence out the roof. Confidence out the roof.
Needed that.
You know what I mean?
Needed that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's probably what it is, man. It's probably Miro, it's probably Rusev, and we're definitely looking forward to that Ultimate Sports Network. But yeah, who's next after that?
Also, we got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
This match is going to be good. Like, this is going to be a very, very good match. You got two great wrestlers here. Rey Mysterio is definitely going to do the job for Chad Gable. Give him his WrestleMania moment. I don't necessarily know if they're going to reveal him yet. I think they're going to kind of push this out as long as they can. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do a mask versus mask match, and Ray wins that one. And then we say, oh, it's Chad Gable. You know what I mean? So I think Chad Gable wins this one, or what was his name? Grande Americano.
Grande Americano. I mean, he showed up tonight, too. I mean, Chad Gable got eliminated from the Battle Royal.
Right.
And the next thing you know, Grande comes out and he screws Ray Phoenix out of winning the match. So,
right.
It's entertaining, though. I think it shows another side, to Chad Gable. So, it's good for him,
If it's one thing about Chad Gable that I respect, it's the fact that whatever WWE has given him, he's gotten such garbage since he's been there, right? That he makes it work. The Shorty G gimmick that he had, like, what the hell was that? But he made it work. You know what I'm saying? He was whatchamacallit, Sami Zayn's coach last year. It kind of worked, right? He turned heel. That really worked. So anything that he gets, he knocks it out of the park. And he's just the epitome of a WWE superstar in regards to a guy that gets the entertainment aspect of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what Kurt Angle was. Like, he was a great wrestler. Guy was a great talker on the mic. You know what I'm saying? He did what he did, but he also got the comedic side of wrestling and knew how to be able to put all of that stuff in a pot. And that's why Kurt Angle is one of the greatest of all time. And I think Chad Gable, I'm not putting it on him right now to say he's one of the greatest of all time. But if he continues to do these things and continues to excel in these roles that they're giving him, I can't see how Chad Gable is not going to be remembered as one of the best performers in that ring in WWE history, because everything that he does turns to gold, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like, it's a very Kurt Angle-esque. And he has the skills to back it up too.
Yeah.
So even when they give him a weird gimmick or whatever, he delivers. So
we got another comment here. It says, I'm thinking 3-man tag at Backlash. Ray Phoenix and Lee versus American Alpha, but L, not Chad. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think they were. It was looking like they were gonna do the 6-man tag at WrestleMania, but they decided to not do it. So yeah, that definitely looks like the direction for Backlash. I think that might be a smart move to just get a lot more out of the build, get Phoenix in there to be able to be a part of that as well, and get the most out of the LWO, because obviously we have to have them on TV, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, just stretch it out, I guess, for another pay-per-view, and then we can be able to just
move on from there.
Move on from there, absolutely. What else we got?
This is my sleeper match of the night: Jade Cargill versus Naomi. This is the one match. I love the build. It's been very petty. It's kind of intertwined with the women's triple threat match, also with the Bianca piece. But just to see Naomi versus Jade Cargill, I mean, it's been pretty good so far. Just the back and forth, the assaults, and everything. So
yeah, I'm with you, man. I think that this match is gonna be a sleeper banger. The problem that I have here is that as much as I love Jade, she gives me Lex Luger vibes in regards to she's not a she's not a baby face. Like,
Yeah.
so you have somebody who they're trying to portray as a good guy. Her persona is a lot on the other side. She's more of a heel than anything else. While
Hmm.
Naomi now is trying to, branch out and show that she has a lot more range than she's been given since she's
Yeah.
been in WWE, right? And I think
Mhm.
that she has done in the couple of weeks that I've seen the evolution of her character. She's done a really good job, man. She's done a really good job being able to kind of switch that gimmick and
Yeah,
make her
pivot. Yeah.
seem a lot more serious and a lot more like unstable, right? That's
Yeah.
something that I like to see. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think this is going to be one of those matches that you look back and say, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. They put on a good show.
Yeah.
Naomi is going to have to lead this match, obviously, because Jade is still very raw.
Yeah.
But I
Yep.
think all in all, they're gonna play to each other's strengths, and I think it's gonna be a good match. But who do you think wins this match? I think honestly they gotta give it to Naomi. They have to.
I'm going Jade only in a close one. In a close one.
Yeah.
But I think she needs to win more at this point, just to kind of legitimize her for any kind of future, like title opportunities or whatever. I think it's gonna be one of those matches where both wrestlers come out looking good though. But I do got Jade winning this match.
Okay. Okay. So you got Jay winning. I got Naomi winning. Who we got next?
After that, we got your guy LA Knight, yeah,
Hey, yeah.
versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Uh,
That's what we talk about.
That's gonna be a good one. I mean, Jacob's been hot, man, and I think he's undefeated so far. He hasn't lost yet in WWE, and I don't know about tag, but singles division, I don't think he's lost yet.
Right.
I think it's gonna be a really good match. Fatu is just amazing in the ring. The stuff he can do. He's a big man that's very agile. And I think the fans more fans will be behind it than people will think. Unless there's any kind of like wacky finish with solo or anything, I think I got Jacob winning this match.
Okay,
Honestly,
so you got
I
Jacob
think
Fatu winning clean. I have LA Knight winning this match, but he's not clean. Solo will cost Fatu the match. That's because
oh man,
they're building this for backlash. They're not gonna put the
yeah,
belt on Fatu yet because obviously LA Knight just won the championship. They're not taking
yeah,
it off LA Knight right now. They shouldn't have took it off of him in the first place when he lost to Shinsuke, right? So they're gonna give him a little extended run. Maybe he's the champion until SummerSlam when Jacob gets it.
yeah,
But I think that Solo and Tama go ahead and cost him the championship, and then we get Jacob and Solo at Backlash, and that's
yeah,
gonna be the end of Bloodline 2.0. That's what I
yeah.
see.
It's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah,
Time
yeah,
to
yeah.
wrap it up. But Jacob Fatu's a star, man. He's amazing in
No, listen, this
there.
dude in the next, I would say in the next 7 to 8 months, Jacob Fatu might be holding big time gold. I'm not just talking about a mid card title. It may be higher than that, depending on, how big his wave gets. This guy is real on the mic. He's a
Yeah.
real dude. Like there's no play with Jacob Fatu. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And
no,
we want to get back to an era where there's believable champions and believable wrestlers that are in the ring, not
yeah,
guys that are just like playing this role and you don't believe them in this role. You believe Jacob Fatu. He ain't playing. You know what I'm saying?
no, he's
Like
legit.
he's legit. Yeah, we got a comment here. Says I think Solo comes out and calls Jacob up by accident, and Knight wins, and that would be the catalyst for Jacob turning on Solo. Absolutely, that's exactly what I said. It just makes all the sense in the world that
Mhm.
Solo does it and accidentally cost Jacob the U.S. championship, but we all know that it's not going to be an accident. It's going to be
No,
on purpose because Solo was jealous. Solo does not want anybody to have any shine over him, especially Jacob Fatu. And that's when we get the break and we get the backlash match. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a good match. I think both guys, LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, do very well in the ring. LA Knight is not as good as Jacob in the ring, but LA Knight holds his own as well. He's an old school type of
yeah,
wrestler. His moveset is pretty limited, but he does very well with the moveset that he has.
yeah.
What we got next?
Then we got another messy match. Tiffany Stratton and
Oh
Charlotte
God.
Flair.
Oh my God. Let's go into this, please. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, but go ahead, bro. Do your thing.
uh, I mean, that's another match. The build has been, I don't know if it's been messy, but it's kind of been all over the place. I think the fans are tired of Charlotte Flair kind of disappearing and coming back, and then just automatically being entered in the title race. Every time the fans, they tried to book her kind of like a face a little bit when she first came back, and then once they realized she was getting a lot of heat from the audience, they just they flipped that pretty quickly. And then that infamous episode of SmackDown a couple of weeks ago where they kind of went off script and they're talking about divorces and sliding in people's DMs and all this other stuff. So
Who is sliding in Charlotte's DMs? Please tell me that. Like respectfully. Like, what are we doing?
yeah, Kaiser wasn't feeling that. So yeah, I don't know. I think and Charlotte's the veteran. She's kind of supposed to be steering the ship on this one. And even if you go back and watch that promo battle from a couple of weeks ago, she was kind of rattled by
She
the
definitely was.
audience, and she kept starting over her promo over and over again, and it just wasn't working out. And then even that, during that day, she was on daytime television. She was rattled there too, just talking
Yeah.
about the divorce, coming back from the ACL injury. She hasn't really seemed like herself. But this match, I'm gonna have Tiffy retaining. Um, but I think the match might be, solid in the ring, but the build's not been, it hasn't been great.
Yeah, I
It
think I
hasn't
think
been
we get a
great.
better match than we do build. It's just the
Hmm.
fact that they need to just fully embrace Charlotte being who she is. Charlotte does not come off as a good person. And all the information and all the rumors that we've had and all the problems that she's had with certain girls in the locker room, just
Hmm.
lean into what you are, right? Like you are a heel, you are the daughter of Ric Flair, you are an asshole, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The
No.
This reminds me of Wrestlemania, right? Remember
Yeah.
Batista got back, he won the Royal Rumble. Fans booed the hell out of it because they were like, "Get this dude out of here. We don't care about Blue Tista coming back and winning the Royal Rumble. We don't care." And after
Right.
that, he went from being a face coming back to then they had to immediately turn him heel in that whole
Yeah.
situation with Daniel Bryan, right? So it gives me
Hmm.
those vibes when WWE is trying to force feed something, no matter what the fans are saying, no matter what you're hearing, they're force feeding this situation and it just doesn't come off as good. Now, you know how WWE likes to do things. They'll take a situation and try to spin a negative into a positive, right? There's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with that. But this is one of those situations where Tiffany Stratton has not been booked as a strong champion since she's won that championship,
Yeah.
and she hasn't been good on the mic. She hasn't improved on the mic. She looks very uncomfortable. She's somebody that might need a buffer in regards to a manager, somebody to
Hmm.
be able to just do things for her. But then again, it's like, where's her character? What direction are they gonna go in after Mania? If she
Yeah.
retains, cool. But how do we get character development for a Tiffany Stratton? What does she evolve into? Does she evolve into more of a serious wrestler because she had this serious tone with Charlotte? Do they have another match? I have no idea, but yes, I'm in agreement with you. I think that Tiffany needs to win. I think
Hmm.
that Charlotte needs to be able to pass the torch here and make sure that she's helping the young wrestler get over.
Right.
Charlotte at this point of her career does not need championships. She doesn't need championships to be the biggest heel in the company in regards to women's wrestling, right? So
No.
she just needs to play her part, be the bully, be the person that goes on and picks on girls and tries to, angle your way into situations. Be the swarmy, slimy, conniving person that she can be in regards to a bad guy. Like lean into your inner Ric Flair, and she'll be
Hmm.
fine. I think Charlotte, when she's done heel work, she's done the best work in her career. I don't know why
Yeah.
they constantly have to bounce her back and forth through babyface and heel like she's Big Show. Like just keep her bad. Like it's okay.
Right.
Like just some people do not need to be good guys. Just leave them as villains. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
she can even be an anti-hero instead of being a full-on baby face. Just let her be an anti-hero if you want to go ahead and like lean into that when fans at some point accept her again, if that even happens. I don't know if that ever will happen, but if it
Yeah,
does happen, they don't necessarily have to pull her and turn her all the way. Just let her play who she is, and the fans will either cheer or boo. But just let her be a villain.
yeah, I agree.
You know what I
I
mean?
think the problem is, like I said, every time all her storylines are championship focused. There's never really been
Mm.
anything outside of that. And sometimes the greatest wrestlers, they don't always need a championship match.
No,
They're able to do things outside of that. So I think that's what's next for her. They need to find something for Charlotte that's not in the title, in the title chase. Have
right.
her do something else.
And the thing is, there's a lot of women in WWE right now, counting NXT as well as TNA. There's a lot of wrestlers that she can be able to wrestle with. You know what I'm saying? Like you you
Hmm.
you have you have what's my
Jordan
girl
Grace,
name? Yeah, you got Jordan Grace, you got Stephanie Vacour, you have so many,
Jada
Julia's there.
Parker.
There's a lot of girls that are there that she can be able to, like, once they get called up, there's a roster. And the thing is too, I think WWE needs to they need to pull that evolution pay-per-view. They need to make sure that they all systems go to make sure you have that pay-per-view, because
Hmm.
women, they need their, I think if they do two of those pay-per-views a year, it will
Yeah,
give them a chance to be able to kind of have a crescendo and a final moment for their blow off matches for those pay-per-views. I think it'd be good for them to be able to have that, rather than stick them on the pay-per-view with everything else and it just gets lost. They don't get enough time, all of those things.
yeah,
Like, give them
for
enough
sure.
time to be able to have these matches, because listen, when the girls were down at NXT, and Sasha Banks was there, and you had Bailey, and they had the time, Charlotte, all of them, and they had the time to be able to wrestle and tell their stories. They were telling some of the best stories in the company, not just for women. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
give them the opportunity to have their own pay-per-views, have a couple of pay-per-views for the year, and see how it goes. You're not gonna lose any money at this point. Let them do it.
yeah.
I think they'll do very
Keep you
well.
bringing some people from TNA if you had to, get
Yeah.
some affiliation
You
now,
have a you have a shit ton of
run
women
it
that
up.
you can be able to fill that card up with, man. So, they definitely need to make sure that I know that the rumor is that all systems go for the Evolution pay-per-view, but I'd like to
Mhm.
see them add another one as well.
Yeah, yep.
Who else we got?
And then the main event for night one, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Wait, CM Punk with Paul Heyman in his corner. You gotta add that caveat
Oh yes, how can I
in
forget?
there.
That's the favor.
That's
Oh
the
man.
favorite. Uh, this one, another one, kind of like just kind of the story for this pay per view. The build's been a little messy for this one, a little all over the place. To me, the unsung hero of the whole thing, Paul Heyman's been great throughout the whole thing. Just his facial expressions and my tribal chief, this and that, and he's always been great. Even back in ECW days until now, he's just amazing. Um, but I think Seth's been doing a lot of double duty, just as far as just trying to carry things along on SmackDown and Raw. I got Seth winning this match. Just I think Paul Heyman's definitely gonna get involved. You can't trust him, man. I mean, everybody he manages, he always ends up screwing them. I mean, even as far as back as when he's managing Brock Lesnar the first time and he screwed him Survivor Series and he teams up with Big Show and he costs him the title and everything. You can't trust Paul Heyman. Give me Seth Rollins for the main event tomorrow.
All right, so what you're saying is that Paul Heyman is going to be the reason why Seth Rollins wins.
I think so, man. I think he's gonna cost Roman and Punk, man. You can't trust him. Can't
And
trust him for
so
no
that
reason.
so then Paul Heyman aligns with Seth Rollins.
I think so because it's different. He's already aligned with Roman Reigns very successfully over the last few years. Maybe that's one of those things that kind of ran its course, But it's always been great to see those two together. You have Paul Heyman and CM Punk, previously when Punk's first reign, when he was in WWE. So I think Paul Heyman and Seth together, that's a combo we haven't seen so far. And whoever gets from Paul, they get elevated into those matches, man. They get into those WWE, those heavyweight title matches. I think it's a different look, and I think it's possibly, one of the directions we're going into. And the other piece, kind of, it's either that or, like I said, the promo he cut today. He might be involved with that whole Rock Cena, Travis Scott thing where he's talking about I'm saving wrestling and I want to. He said he's gonna do whatever it takes to win and preserve wrestling. So I think either way, Seth is walking out. I think he's gonna win that main event
Okay, all right. I mean that's not a bad analysis. I think that in my opinion, in regards to this match, just don't like the build. I don't like the fact that Roman Reigns has not been available for this entire build to Mania. Like, what is happening? Like, I understand if you want to have your days off, and not have your limited appearances throughout the year. I got no problem with that, right? Like he's been on this type of schedule for the last 5 years now. That's fine. My issue is when it comes to the Mania build, you need to be here. Like, there's no reason why he should not be here every week building this program. You know what I'm saying? It's just it falls flat when you got guys that are trying to build a serious beef, a serious problem with each other, and all three of them are not there at the same time to be able to continue to spark this feud and make it and push it further into contentious situation. That's my issue. The whole Paul Heyman aspect of all three of them, it hasn't hit for me personally, and their personal issues between the three of them has not hit, and it has not come to the light as I would like it. There's rumors that even back in the day that Roman Reigns and CM Punk don't get along, right? We all know that CM Punk and Seth Rollins don't get along. I don't think that they leaned into that enough unless they're saving it for what I think is going to happen. So I agree with you. I think that Seth Rollins wins the match. I think that CM Punk is going to take the pin. We all know Roman's not taking the pin, right?
No.
CM Punk is going to take the pin. But how it gets there is I think that Roman Reigns is going to, I don't know, force Paul Heyman to do something, or there's going to be an accident where CM Punk gets caught in the middle of that. Paul Heyman kind of has this reaction like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Curb stomp. He ends up losing. And then we start to build the real triangle problem between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And that's going to carry us through Backlash, and that may end up carrying us close to SummerSlam. I don't know if it goes into SummerSlam because I think Punk and Cena get SummerSlam main event. That's my opinion. But I do think that Punk and Reigns find a way to continue their problem and then have some type of blow-off match, whether it be one or two blow-off matches throughout the year. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think we're both in agreement that Seth Rollins wins. How he gets there is going to be different in regards to how we think about it, but I think the outcome is the same.
Yeah.
So that's night one.
Night one.
Subpar card. I don't know if there's going to be any surprises there. There's not room for many surprises right there with that card. I just hope that we get a good wrestling night one for Mania. That's all I care about. Clean matches, no, not too many
no
spots. Yeah, all of those things. If we get some clean matches, man, I think I'll be satisfied with that. I don't necessarily need to be wowed. I just needed to make sure that it's entertainment, it's entertaining, and they get to tell the stories in those matches that are gonna make the matches even better. You know what I'm saying? All of these people can be able to wrestle, but can they be able to kind of cultivate that story and keep the fans on the edge of their seats? That's what I want to see.
That's what we need for night one.
Yeah. So night
Yeah.
two, we got Jey Uso and Gunther starting off the night. World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Um, we talked about this earlier. The build has been a lot better.
Yeah, it
Um,
hasn't been.
for
Yeah.
the last few
Yeah.
weeks, and I think that there's just the problem that I have, right? And I want to hear your thoughts on this. Jey Uso, o- outside of that promo that he cut when he told Gunther that he wasn't scared of him or was, he got to worry about him at Mania, whatever it was.
He said, and I quote, "I'm gonna get you."
Yeah, that one. Like, he just isn't a strong talker on the mic. I love Jay. I really do. I
Mhm.
think that they put the rocket on his back. The fans love him. He gets great reactions. He has a good theme song. All of those things are cool. His merch is cool. Like, I'm saying? The kids love his merch. All of those things are great. But he's still not good on the mic, and it's painful to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, Jimmy is a lot better than him on the mic. A
Yeah.
lot better.
Jason's nervous.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know what it is, man. He has these weird pauses, and he can't get through a promo without yeeting. He can't get through a promo without sounding breathy. There's just a
Hmm.
lot going on there, and I just want him to be a lot better on the mic. So there's a lot of things that he has to improve on. But I'm hoping that he has his best match of his career because he's also a botch machine as well. And
Yeah,
being in the
you gotta
ring,
keep it clean.
being in the ring with Gunther, I think Gunther is going to get the best out of him. It's going to be a
Hmm.
physical match, and it's always good when you have a big versus a small. You always get a very, very good dynamic. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. It's been a very decent build, and I'm hoping
Hmm.
for a better match in regards to culminating this feud.
Yeah, we definitely, like I said, the second half of the feud kind of heated up. At first, I didn't really care, but after Gunther beat up Jimmy, that kind of elevated the match to another level. It took it to where it needed to be. Unfortunately, it took Jimmy out of his own kind of like WrestleMania kind of storyline. It was kind of teasing him with the U.S. title and stuff like that, but they kind of had to pivot from that to kind of help out Jay, to build that main event.
Right.
But I'm interested in the match. I think it's gonna be a good match.
Okay. So again, I'm putting your feet to the fire right now. Who wins?
Give me Gunther.
You got Gunther retaining.
I
Okay,
got Gunther
interesting.
retaining. Really good match, but I just don't think Jay's the guy to overthrow him. You need somebody, I think, kind of just what you were saying, somebody a little bit stronger to kind of just dethrone him for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think it's going to take more, but it's going to be, one of his better matches of his career. So, again, hopefully it's one of those matches where both wrestlers come out looking strong if possible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair. I have Jey Uso winning this. We had Yeselmania with Daniel Bryan. We had Kofi Mania, and now
Yeah.
we have Yeet Mania. That's how it's gonna happen. He's gonna end up getting the championship. The
Uh,
place is gonna be rocking. Everybody's gonna be waving their hands, and you're gonna get the 9-minute party celebration, and that's what they're looking for to start the night. Like, that's a perfect way to kind of set the trend for
mhm.
what we're going to see at the end of the night, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely got Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Who we got next?
So other matches that we have for night two. Another one that I'm not really looking forward to. Liv Morgan
Ugh,
and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. Eh, Another one where it's kind of it's not really much of a build. I mean, Liv and Raquel they got the belts, for a little bit now, and they kind of just threw Bailey together with Lyra, as a tag team like a couple of weeks ago, and then I think Monday night, not this Monday or the one before, they were just battling for the women's intercontinental title. So it's kind of just one of those matches they just kind of threw together. I mean, like you're really gonna have this match over anything with the tag titles, like the with the Street Profits, anything. I don't know, man. Not looking forward to this one at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
I am. Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't understand why Lyra could not be on the card defending her Intercontinental Championship.
yeah,
Like same thing
yeah,
with Chelsea Green. Like, why would you make these mid card titles if you're literally gonna make them irrelevant as soon as they get them?
yeah.
Like,
And Chelsea Green's entertaining. Like I love the whole cabinet thing. She
yeah,
had that hardcore match. She was wearing like the Mick Foley shirt.
yeah.
She's funny, man.
But
So
they have no momentum right now. And we all
no,
know what's gonna happen. Bailey and Lyra, they're gonna lose. There's gonna be some type of accident in the match,
mhm,
and they're gonna continue their feud into backlash, and we're gonna get the Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra and Bailey wins. That
yeah,
that's
they're gonna
that's
change
just
hands
that's just the
somehow.
ways that's what's gonna happen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
yeah,
I'm with you. I'm not really looking forward to this match, but I think it'll be a solid. I think it'll be a good match. It's not going to be something that
yeah,
I turn off and walk away from. It'll be a solid match. It's just one of
yeah.
those things that I just don't believe it should be on WrestleMania. This this
No.
this this is a pre-show match. It's a pre-show match. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a pre-show match.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, it definitely should be a pre-show match
Yeah.
down the card.
Who's next?
After that, this is my sleeper match of the night for night two: AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
Uh,
a banger.
I mean, people hate Logan Paul, but
He
he's
can
amazing
wrestle.
in that ring, man. He
He
can
can
wrestle
wrestle.
for real. He got trained by the Heartbreak Kid, man, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
I mean, just the things he's done. Like remember SummerSlam against the Miz, he does that backflip off of the top rope into the off of the ramp and all this other stuff. Like he's really good. AJ Styles is a Hall of Famer. I mean, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be like a wrestling clinic. Just something to keep in mind. They've been teasing like Karrion Cross, kind of like trying to turn AJ Styles, which I like because I think Karrion Cross, he has the right stuff. You know,
They
to
they have
be
really sold me on Karrion Cross. I love
yeah.
Karrion Cross. I've always loved that guy, but what they're doing right now, I think is really really good work for him, and it
Hmm.
just makes him look like this cult leader type of thing,
Yeah.
where he's gonna end up creating a big stable for himself probably, and
Hmm.
kind of getting a push, and he deserves it. I think he deserves a push.
Yeah, and he had a really decent match with AJ Styles
Yeah, it
on
was good.
Monday Night Raw this week. And I love Logan Paul. That new finisher is tough, man. The
Yeah, that new
Pulverizer.
finisher is very that's fire. That's fire. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie to you.
so it's gonna be a really good match. I got AJ winning though, but I think it's gonna be a phenomenal match. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun
Um,
intended.
yeah, I think AJ. I mean, look, at this stage of his career, AJ doesn't need a win, right? I just think that he might end up taking on the Shawn Michaels role at WrestleMania, where it's
Okay.
about enhancing the talent, making sure that you put on a damn good show for yourself, and
Hmm.
wins and losses doesn't really matter in regards to WrestleMania, right?
No,
So,
no.
I think that I give Logan Paul the win,
Okay.
just because I think whatever they're trying to build with him as being the top villain on Raw, you got
Hmm.
to continue to lean into that, and giving Logan Paul the win gets a lot
That's
more
big.
out of the feud, right? Like you can be able to have them have another match at Backlash, and then maybe have another blow off match, right? So you can have 3 matches with these guys that you can be able to tell a way better story. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
got I got Logan Paul winning.
But if he wins, it's not gonna be clean. He's gonna pull out some brass
Yeah, of
knuckles.
course, of course not, of course not.
Other matches we got on the night. We got Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dirty Dom. Fatal four way for Intercontinental Championship. Uh, yeah. Give me Dirty Dom though, man. I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm with
tell
you.
you. I think it's time. I think it's
I'm with.
time.
I am
They're
with
gonna
you.
turn on Finn.
We
They're gonna
are
turn
in
on
we are in agreement here, my friend. Dirty Dom wins the Intercontinental Championship. Absolutely, 100.
Yeah,
percent
they've been teasing it over the last month or so. Judgment Day turning off Finn. They turn on everybody at this point. So I like the way that WWE's been booking Penta too.
Very
I mean, they
strong.
booked him like a superstar, very strong. Even when he loses, and close matches. I think he's only lost like one so
Yeah.
far. Love Braun Breaker also, but I think it might be time for him to take that next step. That's the only reason why he would drop the belt. But he's amazing. I mean, look at that spear he hit on Carlito, a couple of weeks ago. The dude is fast. I mean,
And
you
he's a
know,
freak. He's a freak.
he's a genetic freak, man, just like Papa
He
Punk.
reminds me of his
You
uncle, Big Bad Booty Daddy.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's great in there. I think we're going to see some great stuff in there in this match, especially from Penta. The stuff he does, in the ring is kind of amazing. It brings a different element, and like you said, they booking him strong. But I got Dirty Dom. He's improved a lot, man, especially since he's come up and he's broke from his dad, and he's kind of like, he's one of the hottest heels in the company. I mean, sometimes he comes out, they don't even let him talk or anything like that. But he's gotten better in the ring too. I think it's time for him to take that next level. So give me Dirty Dom in the Fatal 4 Way for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that this is probably the only multi-man match that I accept and like
Hmm.
because, everybody brings a different element in the match. You got Penta with his high flying style. You have Finn that's very good at doing both. You have Dom that's really really good, and then you have the power guy, the big brute. So this is a very very good dynamic um match between four guys, and I think the storyline between Dom and Finn needs to continue, where Dom, like you said, wins the match. They kick him out of the Judgment Day, and now we can go back to having regular Finn Balor again, right? Cool Finn Balor needs to come back
Yeah,
with the
they
with
need
the
to
with the
bring the
leather
Demon
jacket.
King back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
they need to.
and the and the theme song, that shit was fire. That shit was fire. I know
Yeah.
they got I know they got legal trouble with
Oh.
the people that made it. But man, that song was fire. They gotta find a way. They gotta find a way to get that back.
Yeah.
You know what I
They
mean?
got to
Because
get Jim Johnston to do the remix or something,
Def Rebel needs to go. Like every song they do is garbage.
It's generic,
Garbage. It's bad. But yeah, I think
man.
we're definitely in agreement. Dom wins to further that story along. Finn needs to find a way to get out of the Judgment Day. It doesn't need to be a Judgment Day at all. But they're
Mhm.
gonna continue that stable, and it's just gonna be, whether they maybe, kind of revamp it. Maybe
Mhm.
Aleister Black gets into the Judgment Day. I don't know. That would make sense. But I think Aleister Black is going to SmackDown, so it doesn't really make sense, right?
His intro
Um,
is hard, man, with the
yeah,
table. Where
yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't think Vince was a fan of him, but I think
No,
Triple
he
H
was
was.
not. He
So
was not. But
guess
that's
that
that's
sums
a
it
lot
up.
of it's a lot of guys from NXT that he wasn't a fan of. He wasn't a fan of Bobby Roode either. You know what I mean?
Man,
And Bobby Roode was fire when he was at NXT. Got to
yeah,
WWE
he's
and,
fire in
and
TNA.
yeah, fire at TNA. He got to Vince, and Vince was like, "Yeah, I don't get it. Of course you don't. Of course you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
You like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's the type of shit that you like. You like giving Hulk Hogan a free title match at the end of WrestleMania 9. That's what you like. It's just horrible, you know. But yeah, yeah,
Man.
we're definitely in agreement. Dirty Dom wins this match, and this is going to be one of probably, if not one of the best matches of the entire weekend. So, what,
Yeah,
what we got next?
uh, this is another. This is if I had a choice, it would be my second sleeper. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre and a
Vegas Street
Sin
Fight.
City Street Fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sin City
So
Street Fight. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
like this. I
I like the
like.
build for this. I mean, it's been kind of crazy. Like Damian Priest, he choke slammed Drew through the windshield on the car, and then last week or the week before, Drew hits the Future Shock DDT on Damian onto the steel steps, and he sold it really well. With eyes popped out of his head. It was great, man. I don't really care who wins this one. I wanna, a really good match where they kind of take it to another level. If I
Right.
had to give it the edge, I think Drew. I think Drew wins it, but I do think Drew does deserve like a legitimate, like a title reign at some point. It's just like I don't know. He's been a mainstay. Since he's come up, and I think it's at some point he is owed a chance to kind of carry one of those two belts. But yeah, I got Drew winning this match.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think this is gonna be definitely a sleeper. I think it's gonna be a banger. I think these guys are gonna put on a show. They're gonna get, this is a perfect match for these two guys, big dudes, pause, but they can be able to get physical, kind of stretch the limits a little bit, without having a traditional wrestling match. This is gonna be something that they can really be able to lean into, and then they can also extend the feud into Backlash as well, and then have
Hmm.
another gimmick match if they want to. It just they can continue to have at least another one or two matches
Yeah.
until they blow this over, right? Until he can be able to move on to something else. But this is a good matchup for Drew, good matchup for Damian. Perfect,
Hmm.
perfect WrestleMania. I remember when the rumor was out there that these two were gonna go at it at Mania. I was just like, I don't
Yeah.
really see it. I don't understand why they would do it, but now it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, these are two legit badasses. They just don't like each other, and it's the age old situation in wrestling. You can put two bad dudes together, they don't like each other, and they'll fight and it'll be good. And you don't
Yeah.
necessarily need anything outside of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't
Yeah.
need this long build of what the hell is going on, what the backstory is. Who cares? They are
Hmm.
just mean, they don't like each other, and they want to fight. And that's good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's good enough for me. I do think that Drew wins this match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Before the main event, just one caveat. Randy Orton, I think his open challenge is set for night two. So
Okay.
he kind of came out on SmackDown tonight and just opened up. He did the open challenge. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be in the ring. Whoever wants to show up, show up. I don't care who it is." So kind of like we talked about earlier. Hopefully, it's Rusev. That would be really cool.
It
Kind of
has
put him
to be
back in the
Rusev.
company.
It has to
Uh,
be. That place is gonna go crazy if Rusev Day comes back. You know what I mean?
uh, yeah.
But
So
if it
hopefully
so if
we'll
it's
see.
Rusev, it gotta be between Rusev, um,
And Cobb, you said before,
Cobb,
or
and
Aldis.
then Nick Aldis. It gotta be one of those three. Has to be.
Yeah.
And I think I
Yeah.
think I think Jeff Cobb would be a fantastic matchup. But maybe they don't want to expose him on Mania like that. I think it might be better to have him debut after Mania. But
Hmm.
Rusev has been there. He's a mainstay. People love him. He would be perfect to be able to get back on the grandest stage. And could you imagine that this guy could not sniff TV in AEW, and then appears at WrestleMania on night two and fights Randy Orton and puts on a banger match? Are you like, it just shows
They
you
don't know
the
what they're
the
doing.
two companies of the state that they're in right now. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, gotta be those three. Um, no matter who it is, Randy Orton is going to win.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect outcome for the match. But I'm gonna be definitely on the edge of my seat to see exactly what music hits, because we all know when Seth Rollins had his open challenge, all
Hmm.
those years back, we knew it was Cody. We knew it was
Yeah.
Cody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We know what
So
time it was.
this one is a lot more under the vest, due to the fact that they had to pull an audible because Kevin Owens did get hurt, and it's not a shoot.
Hmm.
It's not a work. I mean, it's a shoot. So that's yeah, I'm curious to see who it is. Now here we go with it. The for all the marbles main event. Who you got?
Uh, I'm for life, man. I'm going with Cena.
You're going with your
I'm going with
boy.
Cena. So
Going with your
I'm
boy.
as we're talking, I'm a little privy to some information. So I'm looking at I saw the closing moments of SmackDown. So pretty much Cody laid out Cena again. That doesn't bode well, man. He took him out twice,
Right,
2 weeks in a row. So I got Cena winning, man. A record 17, unless Ric Flair jumps the barricade and does something crazy.
right,
I got,
right,
but he's not gonna win clean. It's gonna be a lot of interference. I'm thinking if nothing else from The Rock, uh, maybe a third man, whoever that is. But I don't think, I don't think he wins straight up. He's gonna do some dirty tactics to win. He's gonna get 17, and then because it's Cena's farewell tour, we're gonna get some of those matches we wanted to see possibly for the last time. So, like you said, arch nemesis Randy Orton, to see them kind of flip, reverse roles, and Orton kind of be the face and Cena be the heel. That's good to see. Punk and Cena again. That's something that we want to see. So yeah, give me Cena for 17 and main event on Sunday night.
I like where you're going. I agree with you. I think Cena definitely does win. The only problem that I have with that, with everything that's going on with this build, is that Cena had to be there all the weeks for me. It just, there were some weeks that Cody had to carry it. Uh,
Yeah.
you have to build these pay-per-views the right way, man. You got to build Mania the right way. You can't have guys just missing dates that are very important to the actual build of the story.
Right.
Um, the whole Rock vanishing act is really puzzling to me as well. Like, why
Right.
would you do this if he's not available? And here's the thing that bothers me too, right? Is that even if The Rock could not be there in person, could we not get some video packages? Could we not get some IG posts and some joints that he was doing like last year? Like,
Yeah.
why are we not getting any final boss stuff like how he did last year? He doesn't necessarily have to beat up Cody and beat him
Hmm.
in front of his tour bus and all that other shit. It doesn't have to be that dramatic, but we could have definitely got some tape vignettes. We could have definitely got some taped, promos and all these things. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Something.
no reason. Yeah. There's no reason
Yeah.
why we couldn't have got that with him and Travis Scott on the camera, like NWO style, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, filming
Hmm.
a different way. Like, all of those things we could have got, and it would have just made the build a lot better, because now you're incorporating another aspect, another angle, another variant into this particular equation, and
Hmm.
it just makes it better. Now Cody doesn't know, what to think of this. All right, cool. Well, Cena's here, Rock's there. Now I got these two people to have to worry about. Travis Scott is out there, so do I need backup? Do I need to find somebody? It just doesn't. It didn't.
Yeah.
To
It
me,
was
it
like it
just,
was like a tease. It was like a
yeah,
tease.
they
Yeah.
could have did it a lot better. I don't want to nitpick. A lot of times we can be very, very judgmental. I'm
Hmm.
gonna see how it unfolds. I'm never gonna question Cena in regards to how he does things. He's a master when it comes to psychology and stuff like that. So is Cody. But I just thought that we would get a lot more out of The Rock. And the fact that
Yeah.
we didn't get that, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Especially like you said, compared to last year. I mean, we seen him once. No, we seen him. We seen him maybe three times. We seen him
Yeah.
twice. It was like an episode of SmackDown before Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, remember he pulled up
Uh,
the NXT for no fucking reason. Like, what are you doing there?
well, his daughter's the GM,
Yeah,
so it's a
crazy.
family affair. But yeah, we seen The Rock like three times this year, and that's it. And like you say, you really needed him to kind of be like the puppet master and kind of pulling the strings. Like he was really great last year.
Yeah, he was the
That
man.
was amazing.
Yeah,
He showed up and he was pulling the strings, and we had vignettes, and he was showing up at press conferences, and he was doing press runs.
yeah.
This
Listen,
year, I don't
he
know
was
what
the
happened.
one. He was the one that made WrestleMania great last year. If it wasn't for the Rocks, you know, being implemented into this storyline, I think you still get a great story between Roman and Cody, but
Hmm.
this just added another element to the story where you actually had a 2-night culmination of that story, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
The Rock was very vital in that build. And I think that The Rock being missing in this build has the rivalry and has this particular program missing something, right? Like, we love Cody, we
Hmm.
love Cena, we love what Cena has done on the mic, we love the back and forth that they had with that one encounter a couple of weeks ago. All of
Yeah,
those
on
stuff was
Raw.
great, but there's something missing. And
Hmm.
the problem for me is that WrestleMania needs to feel like the culmination of your storylines. What I see now out of these two nights and I don't know if you agree with me, but it feels like more of a start than a culmination
Yeah,
of stuff. That's it's like it's reversed. WrestleMania needs to be the culmination of storylines, not the beginning of it. And
yeah,
with Cody, with John Cena, it feels like the beginning of it. With CM Punk, Rollins, and Reigns, it feels like the beginning of it. Like it's just you got your two marquee matchups there, and they both feel like there's just a lot more meat on that bone. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
listen, we're both huge wrestling fans. We just want to see a good night. Good 2 nights of good wrestling. I believe the Hall of Fame is tonight, right?
yeah. It's like one. It's like I think it's like 1 a.m. Eastern, something crazy
Great.
like that.
Yeah,
When I was watching SmackDown, I was like, they still had tickets available.
really.
Um, and they really screwed NXT also because they're like 10 a.m. like local time. So I'm like,
Right.
I mean, that's early, man. I mean, especially if you're
Well, so
doing
the Hall
a
of Fame
double
is going to be
header.
in the morning.
No, the Hall of Fame is tonight, but
Oh,
NXT Stand and Deliver is tomorrow,
right.
10 a.m. local.
Yeah,
So I mean,
they should
that's
have
a lot, man.
definitely they should have did it differently. I think they should have
Right.
put the Hall of Fame on well, I
Like
mean, you can't
Thursday
do
or
that because you
something.
have SmackDown on Friday.
Yeah, it's tough. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to have NXT be the morning, but the thing is with them, they've been doing stand and deliver like that the last few years, obviously.
Hmm.
It's a very, very good start to your wrestling weekend to
Yeah.
watch stand and deliver. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I don't mind it because it gets you ready for Mania before Mania even starts because you're getting wrestling early. So you're getting into
Right.
that mode. And also too, you get to see the stars of the future, right? You get to see guys at their WrestleMania perform at the highest level. And you say, oh, I can see this guy on the main card in a couple of months. Or, maybe this
Hmm.
guy needs a little bit more work. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like Trick Williams, it's about time that he shows me something to the point where I believe that he can be able to be on the next on the big card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
same thing with Obafemi. I think Obafemi is probably ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he's
So,
ready.
and I need to see my man Ricky Saints. You know that. You know that. The Revolution will be televised, baby. That's my guy. That's my guy. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this build, Chris. This was good, man. I know you have a rough day tomorrow ahead of you. Condolences to your family, man, and
Thanks,
keep
man.
me posted
Appreciate
with
it.
everything, and
Thank
we'll definitely be talking.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure to do this with you and talk wrestling every time, man. I get a pleasure out of this, and just to shoot the shit, and we're close, man. I really appreciate it. So thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank
Nah,
you.
of course, man. Listen, we got some stuff planned, for the future, man. So we might be doing this on a lot more consistent basis. And the way that this came off tonight, we probably didn't have a lot of people in here. That's fine, but I
Mhm.
do like the way we can be able to have this going forward. So we'll see how we can be able to coordinate the schedules. But this was fun. This was fun.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it, man.
Yes. All right, my
Yes, sir.
guy. I'll see you,
All
man.
right.
Until
Salute.
next time, fellas. Thank you for watching. Whoever's in there, enjoy your WrestleMania weekend. Enjoy
Thank
your Easter weekend as well. Be with your families and don't get into too much trouble. Peace.
you.